anybody could spin up a website. Well, now anybody can create an NFT. How big could this get?
It's a $100 billion industry, but probably not for 15, 20 years, right? No doubt about it. Because, and put aside the art side of it and the music side of it, look at it from a business side of it. Talk college textbooks, right? Literally, I'm checking the market caps of the biggest companies that create college textbooks and asking, if they were severely undervalued, and like all companies now, they're overvalued to a certain extent because interest rates are so, relative to interest rates are not overvalued, but relative to history, they are. Just looking to see, should we be looking at buying these college textbook companies? Because there's no good reason at all to have a physical college textbook. The only reason they do it is because that's the way they've always done it. But the new style college textbook company is going to use, the equivalent of an NFT, whatever they decide to call it. Because now with college textbooks, they lose the resale value. That's why they're overpriced so much, right? So many kids buy, used textbooks like I did when I was in college, because that's just a smarter way to do it. Maybe you get some good notes in there too. And so, but now, because you can get your royalties ongoing, right? Why wouldn't you do every college textbook as the equivalent of an NFT, whether you call it that or not, and then just issue it? You can charge less, knowing you're going to get 25 or 30% of the resale value and make a shitload more money. Those are the things that are going to drive this NFT to a $100 billion industry. It's not going to be artists, because you're going to start getting into long tail that's too long, right? It's like publishing a book. Anybody can publish a book. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it in bookstores if you work hard enough. That's not going to mean that there's a market for it and people are going to buy it. Anybody could publish music. It used to be really hard and expensive to publish a song that was, well mixed and produced. Not anymore. It takes nothing to produce a song. That doesn't mean anybody's going to buy it or listen to it. And so you're starting, we're already starting to see that with NFTs, right? If you go on Mintable or Rarible or OpenSea, you see a lot of stuff, even a lot of it that looks good, right? That is really interesting, but has no bids. And so the real jump is, we really haven't hit with music yet, so that'll jump. We really haven't hit with professional photographers, so that'll jump and grow the market. But like you mentioned,
how about sports? Yeah, how about sports?
Yeah, we'll do everything from tickets to pictures to moments to everything and anything. I've got a company, NBA Meme, that I'm part owner in, and all these memes, we're going, once we get the rights, we're going to make NFTs of them. And so that will bring in more users, but the holy grail of all this are the business applications. If you think about removing the friction of bankers, because every bank has got to touch it, and you've got multiple layers of people who have got to approve. Businesses work that way in general. Think of payroll, think of college transcripts, high school transcripts, think of, borrowing against receivables. There's just so many applications. And they apply not just to DeFi, but to NFT technology as well. So if I if I do a presentation, or if I give a speech, and you guys are talking about going on Clubhouse. Well, Clubhouse to me is the anti-NFT because it's ephemeral, right? There's nothing there to remove. To me, that's a mistake, right? I'm working with a company called Fireside Chat, and so if rather than having that after party on Clubhouse where it's just gone, right? You do it on Fireside, and you're going to turn it into an NFT, and you're going to price it at the equivalent of $5 or $10, right? And when someone's done using it, you're going to have a 50% royalty, and they can trade it. Maybe no one will buy it, maybe no one will trade it, but it'll be there, right? That's the long tail that in aggregate for business applications that makes this a $100 billion marketplace. The music is just secondary. It's really the first math NFT, right? That's what it is. It's the first math NFT. And there'll be other things that are math generated that are unique. Maybe it's not visual, maybe it's something else, right? Maybe it's a calming pattern. I don't know, right? It could be like, there's one NFT that I'm thinking of putting up. So I have, long story short, I ended up creating this application in VR that just has these squares that float by, which allows if you're dizzy, it recalibrates your brain, your vestibular system in your eyes. And so it helps some people deal with dizziness, and it's patent pending and all this, but it's all generative, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm thinking about putting it up as an NFT because it's just math effectively, and it's calming based off the math. There's going to be a whole industry of math-based, NFTs that just have an impact in their own way. And so Euler Beats was just the first. This can go in any direction.
Right. So like there seems to be a fork in the road, right? There's the math-based NFTs, and then there's like the music auditory NFTs that maybe a musician could be more resonant with. What do you see happening first? Because I'm particularly bullish on like audio and music and tracks, like specific songs based like tokens, where you buy the NFT, you get the rights to the audio. Where does your head go when you extrapolate audio based NFTs into the future?
Really depends on what is the standard. 1155 for Ethereum for royalties.
1155 and 721s are the two NFT standards.
The 721 is already in place, so that's a given, right? So that's basic royalties. And if I read it right, the 1155, because I'm also reading the stuff, I think it's whatever about burning Ethereum and the miners are arguing and all that kind of shit, right? And so, but on the royalties, that'll drive the music implications, right? Because being able to allocate royalties to the whole publishing litany, right? The songwriter, the performer, the people who do the music, the musicians, all that kind of stuff. That's the hard part. It's the same with the movie, right? The executive producer, the actors, the writers, the this, the that. Like, all the little cameos and acting shit that I've done, I'll get a royalty check from this episode of Entourage from, a free screening in Korea. And the royalty will be for $1.15, and they'll send me a check. I literally have a stack of checks that big from Entourage that are $2 or less, and I'm just saving them to auction them off on eBay for charity, right, where I autograph them. So you've got to solve the business side of the problem first. And smart contracts are a better way, and when the standard really becomes usable for the distribution of royalties, then you'll see the explosion, because it's a better business solution. That's always the key. You always have to ask yourself, on one side, you think about the demand, and that's always important, right? More music, more people, more demand, right? But you got to think of the business side, and is this a better way? And fuck yes, it's a better way. It's not even close, but there's got to be standards, because Ethereum right now has, got its scaling issues that hopefully go away with 2.0. And then there's all these other competitive blockchains, and do they go there where you kind of control it? Will it be acceptable? All the normal questions, right? But those have to be solved first. For individuals, is it the path of least resistance? Does it make your life better? Yes or no? That's it. On the business side, does it make you more productive, more competitive, and more profitable? That's it. And the answer is yes, across the board.